sorry, that's for a Democrat show.
No matter what the technical difficulty is, this man is a professional. He goes all the way.
What you represent to them is freedom.
Was an extremely great conservative commentator. We're tearing it up on Wednesday night. This is awesome. This
will allow me to retort. Well, this is Jersey Joe for the Reaver of Common Sense show. 8 p.m. on shrmedia.com.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, making sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to join the live chat. Go to shrmedia.com. Just click on the chat room button. Join the conversation. If you want to watch a broadcast, go to Reaver.1. Kick on the live stream. Click on the live stream. Kick. Oh, my God. All right. It has started already. If you like that live stream, please do not forget to subscribe to the channel. Leave a message. Negative, positive. If you want to support the show and support SHR Media, go to Reaver.1 and click on the Reaver store. Pick up a t-shirt, coffee mug, or even a Reaver jersey. Hold on. Sounded like somebody walked into the room. Kind of freaked me out. So, I'm sorry I wasn't here yesterday. I had some personal errands that I had to take. Then I found out later on in the day, a friend of mine that I haven't seen in quite some time, but he passed away. He was 39 years old, and it came total shocker, as everybody could understand. So, all right. Bernie Sanders is flapping his gums again and just throwing accusations all over the place. And Verizon CEO dismantles the Bernie Sanders claim that Verizon does not pay taxes. He's just throwing that claim out to everybody, pointing at his finger wherever, whenever, as long as he's popular with his supporters. It doesn't matter what he says. They'll eat it up. But the 74-year-old socialist Bernie Sanders has been having a hard time on the campaign trail lately. Sure, he's won a few primaries, but Hillary Clinton is burying him in the delegate race, and he has sat down for a couple of horrendous interviews that have really exposed his lack of knowledge about economy. And here's the sad part. His followers still think he knows the economy. They still think he's going to help it out because he's going to tax the rich. He's going to go after corporates. I get really tired of these smack jobs that bash all these corporations, but yet they're doing it on their Apple iPad, iPhones, Samsung iPhones. You know, they're doing it on all these corporate bought pieces of technology. Without these corporations, they wouldn't be able to voice their opinion and dislike of those corporations. Well, the CEO of Verizon wasn't too thrilled about that. And Bernie Sanders, since he's failing on his campaign and getting pretty much taken for a ride through the superdelegate highway, he decided to attack Verizon and for basically no reason and make the audacious claim that they haven't paid a nickel in taxes. As I said, the CEO was not thrilled, and he took Bernie to task in a LinkedIn post. Sanders' first accusation that Verizon doesn't pay its fair share of taxes is just plain wrong. As our financial statement clearly shows, we paid more than $15.6 billion in taxes over the last 2 years. That's a 35% tax rate in 2015 for anyone who is counting. The writer challenges Sanders to show him a company that's done more to invest in America than Verizon. The writer went on to blast Bernie for getting involved in Verizon's ongoing labor strike, where they saw workers get up and leave for more money. Now, if he would have attacked him for that, I would agree with him. I do not agree with a lot of Verizon's employee tactics. Yes, the ones that are what's going on is different than what a lot of the tech support goes through. Unless it's changed recently. I know several people that have been offered jobs, and basically what happens is they hire you. After 6 months, they let you go and hire somebody else. And they're constantly rotating people out of their lower positions. This keeps their salaries low. This keeps... I can't even give it any other good spin. It's just something that they do. The piece was an absolute bloodbath, and it shows you what happens when you put Bernie in the same arena as someone who actually understands how businesses work. This is a man that was on welfare, got elected to a mayoral job, and then went on to, the Senate, or excuse me, the House, then the Senate. This is a guy who has never worked in the private sector. This is a man who has zero knowledge of business. I don't care what schooling he has. If you do not put it into practical use, it is useless. But this act of Bernie's is beginning to wear thin as people start understanding that life is more complicated than just saying, break up the banks. Bernie Sanders once says that no one deserves to make more than $1 million. Yeah, he said that. This guy thinks he can be president of the United States. It's a joke. This man makes more than most realize. This man and his followers complain about the corporate shills and backing of these billionaires as he's funded by George Soros. Nobody touches that. Everybody ignores that fact. This man is not an outsider. He has been getting a government handout his whole adult life, from welfare to the Senate. Everybody talks about what qualifications. Yeah, that man He does not have the qualifications. He can go around pointing fingers. Yeah, that's all well and good. Actually doing things is totally different. Anti-Trump protesters plan for medics and jail support as they aim to shut down Manhattan Thursday night. A coalition of liberal activist groups planned for medics and jail support as they aim to shut down after a long, long day of organized protesting. Tell you this, Trump said he was going to create jobs. He has created jobs. And in the form of protesters, but they're actually jobs. There is want ads. You're getting paid decent wage to go protest. I think some people, if they realize what's actually going on, they would be kind of pissed. You're working and you didn't even know it. Dang, I keep yawning again. A meeting agenda of the Shutdown Trump Coalition, obtained by Breitbart News, gives unique insight into how the left is aiming to disrupt the New York Republican Gala at the Grand Hyatt in Manhattan. According to sources inside the meeting, groups represented included Black Lives Matter, People's Power Assembly, Fight for 15, International Action Center, and Planned Parenthood Labor, and several other small groups. Separate flyers in English and Spanish promoting the protests obtained by Breitbart News purported to be donated by Labor. Bravo. Bravo. The only thing they're doing is they are pushing more people towards Trump when they do this shit, because they're pissing off people that may not have been involved in anything. And yes, I know. Show me the proof that it's actually happening. Yeah, it's called looking at the situation, understanding what's going on, and understanding what these groups are doing to people psychologically. I got to stop real quick. Oh, my God, the other night. So I was reading several articles and a chat that followed about Ted Cruz and all that. And I'm not going to get into the bashing Ted Cruz and all that. It's just the lying Ted thing. Prove that he lied. So I put it on my Facebook. Very simple. He is a fucking lawyer. He is trained to lie. He is trained to stretch the truth. He is trained to make you believe anything but in the truth. That is what he's trained as a lawyer. He is trained to lie. So you could take that, tell me something, give me proof he lied. He's a fucking lawyer. And then I had someone else, the joy of him. Well, I hope you don't ever need, and put in quotation, a fucking lawyer. Try and, I guess, mock me. Well, I kind of turned the tables and just turned around and said, my father-in-law is a lawyer. You know what? My father-in-law, he's retired now, I should say. But I've also sat there and heard him say he understands why lawyers have a bad name, because there's a lot of scumbag lying lawyers out there. He'll be the first one to have a negative things to say about lawyers, because he could see where the negative press comes from. It doesn't mean that he never lied or he was just, ethical and all that. Listen, you're going to do what you got to do to get ahead. As long as you're not breaking the laws. Don't tell me that it's against the law for them to outright actually lie. They know how to stretch the truth, bend it. And I love lawyers that, well, why are you picking on these words? You know, it's just words. Bullshit. That's what they do. Lawyers know how to, they have a good command of the English language and know how to pick and choose the right words in certain instances and how to infer certain things. But it was just funny because the person didn't even respond back, just got a nice little like and kind of like, yep, yeah, you got me. There's good lawyers, there's bad lawyers, just as there's good of everything and bad of everything. But to try to stick up for a lawyer saying they don't lie is pretty it's pretty funny on my side. Very funny. But it's just getting ridiculous. I'm so over. I really think the media plays all the issues up. They're making it sound worse. And people are starting to catch on and going, wait a minute, this is getting a little too bullshit. I think the media, and so do I think the media is twisting to create issues where there really is no issues. But I will give Trump credit. He goes by the old adage of no press is bad press, and he knows how to use it to his advantage. I mean, why these other candidates are spending millions upon millions of dollars in advertising and to get on TV, Trump's hardly spending anything on advertisement because he's getting on TV for free. So I really think sometimes he says those comments about borderline comments to stir up issues. He's a man that he knows how to play the system. I'll give him that. And I think he's a very smart man for doing it. And that's one of the things I like is he's going about this whole campaign. It's totally different. Now, any politician would have been destroyed long ago. But of course, politicians would have been backing down from these accusations. I don't think there's as big of an issue between Megyn and Trump as some make it out to be. I think she exaggerates it at times to help her career. I'm not going to say it's such a negative thing. People do what they have to do to advance. I may not agree with it, but it is a weird primary, but the one thing Trump has done, he has got people so fired up, pro and con Trump, so fired up, so glued, so interested in the primary process and in politics that, like, I have never seen before in my life. I cannot remember a time people were this interested in a primary, this fired up about a primary as they are now. Whether they're being pro-Cruz, pro-Kasich, or pro-Trump, that I've never seen the base fired up so bad. It's just, you got to give the man credit that he's gotten people involved, and that's what we've needed for years. Whether whoever you're backing, it doesn't matter. It's a good thing. We need to keep a close eye on the Republican Party. Whether you agree with what's going on or disagree, you need to keep a close eye and let them know that you have a close eye on them. It'll keep them, to a degree, honest. Like I said, I think it's a good thing. Some might disagree, and those are the ones I believe that want to hide stuff. But you're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio. We'll be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and hyphensdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying Kath was doing it wrong.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is the Reaver After Dark, hosted by Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Jersey Crash, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reaverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date with everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe. I am trying to make sense out of the senseless, and there's something really weird going on. So my Jersey Joe page, I'm getting a lot of likes on it. But the weird thing is, it's from the Middle East. I'm getting a buttload of Middle Easterns. That's weird. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to join the live chat. Go to SHR Media. Click on the chat room button. Join the conversation. If you want to watch the broadcast, go to Reaver.one. Click on the live stream. If you like this live stream, don't forget to subscribe. If you want to support the show, and if you want to support SHR Media, go to Reaver.one. Click on the Reaver store. So, there's supposed to be news coming out today. It seems to have leaked last night, but Donald Trump's campaign manager will not be prosecuted. That's right. He will not be prosecuted. A Florida state attorney won't prosecute GOP frontrunner Donald Trump campaign manager for battery against a former Breitbart reporter, according to Politico. The decision not to press charges against campaign manager is scheduled to be announced on Thursday afternoon by Palm Beach County State Attorney David Kronberg. Politico reports. Fields may still pursue a defamation case against Lewinsky, or the campaign manager, a source has said. A source, she was running her mouth on Twitter saying she's going to sue him for defamation. What defamation? You are the one that brought it to the public's eye. You were the ones that tried to destroy a man's career. You have done this repeatedly. You should be charged for filing false charges. Not because she's a woman, because this is not the first time she has falsely accused somebody. What he did is not battery. It's where we're going to get to a society that we're not even allowed to shake hands with each other. If you ask people to describe a battery, this certainly would not cut it. No injury, no damage, no nothing. And I'm sorry, the bruises, number one, she could have multiple medical conditions that cause her to bruise easy. Number two, she could have done it herself to make it look worse. Not every minor interaction needs to go to court. People, as this writer said, need to chill out. What she's trying to do, she's trying to get free publicity. She's trying to ruin a campaign. She's got a bug up her ass about Trump. So she's going to try to ruin his campaign by going after the manager. She sees dollar signs. And she's got a book coming out. So she wanted free publicity. I mean, she was on Twitter crying her eyes out. Well, I'm sorry. I don't buy it. And this crap, I'm getting threats. Well, I don't agree with the threats. You brought this to a public. What the... It's... friggin' ridiculous. Absolutely. Let's see. For those asking, Office of Prosecutor asked 2 weeks ago if I'd be okay with an apology from Corey. I said, yeah, but I haven't heard back about it. Maybe because he didn't do anything that required you to be putting him through this. You should be apologizing to him for making a mountain out of a molehill. This did not deserve all this. The guy did not deserve to be brought through the mud for your enjoyment. It's and I think I'll pass on getting legal advice from a Trump shill. Well, you know what? You're bashing somebody, so you can bash, but nobody else can. I don't understand what a lawsuit would be about because you try to boost your career and step all over somebody. And again, you know what? I might have believed her more if she didn't have a history of making false accusations. She gives actual victims a bad name. That's the scary part, is she's actually giving victims a bad name. It's she's out there screaming the sky is falling, screaming, you know, it's disgusting and it annoys the living daylights out of me. It makes me almost speechless. I find it really sickening that she would do this to a man and then get all upset and start threatening to sue someone for her stupidity. It just blows my mind. Blows my mind. I know. I'm sorry. It just. You almost, if it was anybody else, they would have dumped the man. The man's career could have been destroyed because you wanted to get some free publicity, try to expand your book. And it's just absolutely disgusting. And all these other people, and it's funny with you, Ted Cruz, I would have fired him right away. Yeah, you had people on your staff that had done shit left, right, and center, and you haven't done nothing. Your one manager had to make major goof-ups 2 times before you finally fired him. But you're going to bash Trump for sticking with the guy. You bash Trump for backing his guy. And guess what? The guy's innocent. You ran your mouth about what this guy did, not knowing exactly. And now she wants to sue. If anyone gets sued, it should be her. It should be her that is sued for defamation, for filing false reports. She is the one that should be sued. All right. This one is the boneheaded left. And they're stupid ideas. And this one just takes the cake. So Bonehead, he's always stuck his head into these global issues. Well, he's done it again. And he has his idea for what to do to ISIS. And it's not fight them. Bono suggests a new anti-Islamic state strategy. Send in Amy Schumer, Chris Rock, and somebody else. Send in comics to make them laugh. Bono, an international statesman, global thought leader, and occasional musician, global thought leader. He's a fucking moron. And has told Congress exactly what it needs to do to solve the global refugee crisis and Islamic extremists. Someone do me a favor, drug test the dumbass before he goes to Congress making suggestions. Someone drug test this idiot before he goes and makes worldwide press conferences on how to defeat ISIS. All right, this dumbass says that we need to welcome in more refugees from North Africa and the Middle East. Lots more. So in other words, what you're doing is, since there's a major negative opinion in the country, you want to increase the refugees so that the opinion changes. The only way you're going to win is by changing who is here. And to learn to see them not as a burden, but as a benefit. Why? So they don't have to assimilate. They don't try to assimilate, and they take over areas like they're doing in every European nation that they're in. If they came over here and assimilated to the American way, I would welcome them with fucking open arms. But when they come here and they give the middle finger to the American way and say, you're going to come around to our way. You are going to do things our way. Fuck you. Damn, I'm getting pissed with that shit. And you want to bring in more of these jackasses? You don't even know who's who. There's no way to do a background check on any of these people. You cannot vet these people. And he goes on, secondly, instead of confronting Islamic terror with the unhelpful language of hate and military hardware, it needs to find a kinder, gentler, funnier way of winning them over using comedians. Well, tell you what, you just became a fucking comedian with that idea. Why don't you get off your dead ass, Bono, and go the hell over there and give them love and hugs and make them laugh? Sing them a tune. And make sure you're singing when they cut your fucking head off. This is the problem we have, goddamn rockers coming up with political ideas. God damn, you're an idiot. The shit of, we got to give them love. We got to give them hugs. We got to show them we care. Fuck that. What we need to do is show them some badass military personnel, let them off their leash and do what they do. Fuck this rules of engagement shit anymore. Let the military off the leash. Let them go do their jobs. Get the politicians out of the military. Let the military do what they do. And they will put the fear of Allah in ISIS. He will put the fear of Allah, not him. The military will put the fear of Allah into the Middle East and to never fuck with us again. Just playing patty cakes and wanting to send letters and hugs and comedians. Let's go sing to them. Fuck you. The idiocy of the left annoys the piss out of me. And when they come up with dumbass ideas like this, you're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio. We'll be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplansdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying capitalist, dude, bro.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking, drinking, drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is the Reaver After Dark, hosted by Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Jersey Crash, right here on shrmedia.com and highplansdailynews.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reaverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date with everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe. Especially today, I am trying to make sense out of the senseless, and the left is full of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded it to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to join the live chat. Go to shrmedia.com. Just click on the chat room button. Join the conversation. If you want to watch the broadcast, go to Reaver.1. Click on the live stream. And if you like the live stream, you like the show, click on subscribe. So some more of the stupidity out of Bono. I mean, he had to be high. He had to be high to go in front of Congress. To go in front of the Senate Appropriations Subcommittee on Capitol Hill and say, and quote, it's like you speak violence, you speak their language. But you laugh at them when they're goose-stepping down the street. It takes away their power. So I am suggesting that the Senate send in Amy Schumer and Chris Rock and Sacha Baron Cohen. Thank you. Does he not like them? Does he hate them? Is he wishing death upon them? Amy Schumer and Cohen are both Jewish. A faith to which ISIS and Al-Qaeda and Boko Haram have shown themselves to be particularly not too sympathetic with. On the contrary, last year, ISIS announced that they were planning a second Holocaust in which all world's Jews would be extinguished. Maybe Bono's under the impression that Amy's wit would grant her an exemption. I did. Ugh. Up until now, there has been very little evidence that ISIS has much of a sense of humor. Nor do Islamic terror groups respond terribly well to homosexuals like Bruno, the camp Australian played by Cohen. Or even to people who look like they might be homosexual, such as Borat, when he is wearing his mankini. Their preferred method of dealing with them in accordance with their scripture is to throw them off high buildings or bury them beneath a wall. So while Bono may think this is a joking matter, or at least one about which we can all be good-natured and touchy-feely, it bears so little accordance with the reality of life on the ground in places controlled by Islamic State and similar groups that you wonder whether he even bothers to read a newspaper or even looks out the window of his mansion when he goes on his global fact-finding tours. And he also went on, the musician went on about European politics. He noted that countries like Poland and Hungary were moving towards the right, what he called hyper-nationalism, and that Britain was considered leaving the EU. This is unthinkable stuff, and you should be very nervous in America about it, he said, arguing that Europe and the Middle East need a new Marshall Plan. Before delivering his bizarre testimony, Bono posed for pictures with 3 members of Code Pink, a woman-led grassroots organization working to end U.S. wars and militarism, who wore pink tiaras and held cardboard torches and signs reading "Refugees Welcome." Bono, who's worth about $700 million, owns at least 3 houses, one in New York, one in the exclusive retreat of Killiney, Ireland, and a villa in the south of France. In his speech to Congress, he made no mention of whether or not he would be throwing open these properties to any of the rape gangs, desperate and vulnerable migrants currently enriching Europe and increasingly the U.S. But if he doesn't want to give a couple hundred of them at home, it's certainly not for wants of space. When he opens up his properties and lives with them without armed guards, maybe I'll change my tune. When these lunatic left give up their armed guards and start welcoming the refugees into their fucking houses, maybe I'll change my mind. People like Bono need to shut their mouth and go back to making music. Wasn't even great music, to my opinion. No, never was a U2 fan. Nope. In fact, I thought they were kind of shitty. I don't say that about a lot of groups because I don't cast judgment. Music's music. That man is a fucking moron. Go back to being a rocker. Shut your mouth. You had to be high as hell to go into the Congress and talk like that. And Code Pink, get a fucking life. Get a life. You know what? I don't like war either. But you know what? War is an evil necessity. For peace, you must have war. It's as simple as that. To have peace, you must have war occasionally. Or do you want tyranny, this evil that is infecting this earth, to run rampant till it's crawling up your ass and killing your family? Then you'll care about it. Then you'll be screaming, why haven't we gone to war? Why haven't we stopped this? Because of morons like you, Code Pink. Morons like you. Take your unicorn dreaming, fantasy island ideas and come back to reality and understand. War is an evil necessity. Thinking you can go over and give hugs and make them laugh shows me how far crazy the left has gone. And of course, I should have known that Lindsey Graham was a part of all this. And what's funny is Lindsey Graham, during his campaign, everything was, I'm going to send troops. I'm going to send troops. I'm going to send troops into Iraq. I'm going to send troops to Syria. I'm going to send troops to Mars, and we're going to fight them. We're going to fight everybody. Sir, that was a question on education. What would you do to further education in the United States? Well, I'm going to put boots on the ground. I'm going to put actual people on the ground and I'll fight this terror. What terror in the education? Well, in Iraq, you got people killing each other. You got people beheading each other. Sir, we're talking about education. Yeah, I know we're talking about education. We're going to educate them. We're going to send troops. What are you going to do about the budget, sir? We're going to send troops. We're going to put boots on the ground. Now, this is the same idiot that brings about Bono. To combat ISIS, let's send in comedians. We'll make them laugh. Fuck. We are doomed. We are doomed. Doomed, I tell you. Senator Lindsey Graham opened the evidence session of the Senate Appropriations Committee, which hosted U2 singer Bono yesterday, by telling the room that you don't win wars against terrorists by killing them or dropping bombs on their head, but rather by spending U.S. taxpayer cash attempting to keep migrants unradicalized. He said that non-government organizations and charities in the Middle East and North Africa can do just as much good as any battalion of soldiers. Really? Weren't they there? Weren't they already there? as ISIS grew larger, weren't these non-government organizations over there for decades now? And they haven't done a dick's worth of work? They haven't done shit? These people don't care about your non-governmental organizations. These people do not care about your charities. They care about one thing. They care about their religion. They care about spreading their religion. And they care about wiping every other religion off the map. Period. This is the Muslim Crusades. Lindsey Graham is so far nut job. Speaking ahead of Bono's testimony, Senator Graham urged those in the committee room to read Bono's op-ed in the New York Times. Oh, I just burped thinking about all this. Oh, it's upsetting my stomach. This man is supposed to be a conservative. This man is supposed to be one of the leaders of the establishment. And I've been seeing it a lot lately where the establishment is going so far to the fucking left. It's not funny. It really isn't. And people are blinded by it for their hatred of Trump. They don't see the shit that's going on. They don't like Trump. And these people are willing to be partnered with the left. Announcing that he had recently returned from a trip to Turkey and Europe, or Egypt, with the U2 frontman. Speaking of his wishes to pull together a new Marshall Plan for the Middle East and North Africa, he issued a warning to the American people. You either pay now or pay later. Yeah, and failure to act now, we will pay later. Our civilians will pay with their lives, you fucking stuck-up rocker. You're a moron. And you're behind your little castle walls, protected, while the civilians get killed and bombed, and you don't give a shit. You come up with asinine ideas of, let's make them laugh. Senator Graham said, urging for more money to be spent training migrants in Europe. When you realize that most of these kids and their parents aren't going back home anytime soon, what kind of skill sets do they need to make them viable human beings? So they're not viable human beings now. The government of Turkey has been extremely generous, despite what many Europeans see as a shakedown by Turkey of major European nations. The country has already demanded a buttload of money to deal with the migrant crisis, which was then raised to even a larger buttload within a few days. I don't know the goddamn conversion rates of what they're asking for. I see just a lot of symbols. Lindsey Graham needs to goddamn retire and go to a retirement home. He has lost his fucking mind. He has lost it. Plain and simple. He has lost his fucking mind. Oh, Ted Cruz is such an asshole. If somebody shot him in the Senate, nobody would call 911. No one would give a shit. No one would testify. We got to support Ted Cruz. We got to support him. God. I don't think I can make this shit up. Between Graham agreeing that we need to send comics to the Middle East to make them laugh, and we just need to give them jobs. That's basically what the hell he's saying by the training. They just need jobs. That's all they need is jobs. What a moron. Graham, I'm going to work with Senator Lay to put together an emergency relief package, though he was careful to stress that this wouldn't come from just the United States. At this point in time, no other country willing to take part have been named or identified publicly. He was also keen to stress that he doesn't want the money to come from other areas of Americans' aid budget, but to find new money for his Marshall Plan of 2016. I don't want to take money away from malaria, from the Peace Corps, from embassy security. I think we need to recognize we have an emergency on our hands, and it has to be world-driven, not U.S.-driven. He could not agree more with Bono's op-ed in the Times and argued that in order to stop the radicalization of people in the Middle East and North Africa, the U.S. and our allies need to send money, more money, to the region. Isn't this same guy that bashed Obama and the left for throwing money at all the problems? He compares ISIS right now to Germany and Japan, and he thinks a Marshall Plan will work. And his quote is, "You're not going to win this war by killing terrorists. The biggest threat to radical ideology is a small schoolhouse educating a poor young girl. That'll do more damage to the radical Islamic extremists than any bomb you can drop on their head. To go to our NGO community, you can do just as much good as any battalion of soldiers. Take the land from the enemy is one thing, to hold it is another." And with that, it's time for one of my breaks because I need to go slam my head into a wall. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio. We'll be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying Kaf was stupid, bro.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is the Reaver After Dark, hosted by Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Jersey Crash, right here on SHRmedia.com and HighPlainsDailyNews.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guy. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the Reaver of Common Sense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date on everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, making sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to join the live chat. Go to shrmedia.com. Just click on the chat room button. Join the conversation. If you want to watch a broadcast, go to reaver.one. Click on the live stream. And if you like the live stream, don't forget to subscribe. And if you want to support the show, or if you just want to support SHR Media, go to reaver.one. Click on the Reaver store. So change up a little bit, and then we're going to go back to the idiocy of the left and other items. For those that are not hockey fans, which is fine, this week, Ed Snyder, who was the owner of the Flyers, Philadelphia Flyers, passed away, 83 years old. Been battling cancer for 2 years now. He passed away. Now, I bring that up again is I live in Tampa now, Tampa area, and Tampa Bay started their playoff series last night against Detroit Red Wings. They're not even playing Philadelphia. And before the game even started, they had a moment of silence, and they had a tribute for Ed Snyder. Now, again, they're not playing against Philadelphia, but they recognized the greatness of this man and honored him, which I thought was, it's speechless. And as a Flyers fan, it really is respectful that that organization went out of their way to honor a fellow owner. So, and I just thought that was really great of them and showed great sportsmanship that can be done. And the one I'm watching, you'd think I'd be woke up by now. I'm fully woken up. I have been since I started the show. For some reason, I just keep yawning. Maybe I'm boring myself. I don't know. Could be. Maybe not. Hopefully not. Now, the Flyers are in the playoffs, and they're playing against the Washington Capitals. And Washington Capitals are the #1 team in the NHL this year. One of the players for the Flyers, a rookie, he got called up, I think it was November 12th, if I read the article right last night. And he turned, ever since he came on, the season for the Flyers started to turn around, and they were going in the right directions. They started winning games. This kid is unbelievable. As a rookie defenseman, he's broken several records already. And he didn't even have a full year, and he broke records. So I need a nap. So his name is Gostis Behere, something like that. It's Gostisbehere. But everybody calls him Ghost. Guys on the team. It's been his nicknames for years. So Washington Post superimposes their player's face on the Ghostbusters. It puts "We ain't afraid of no ghosts," which I got to give them props. That is funny as hell. You know, it's a nice little comic shot at the other team without being, you know, nasty or derogatory towards anybody. Yeah. Oh. I already had like a double large coffee. Damn. But yeah, that one made me funny. And this is something of the things that are pissing me off about ISIS. This is not the first time that they've done something this drastic, and it won't be the last. Islamic State destroys 2,000-year-old Gate of God in Mosul. There is these pieces of beauty, history. These are buildings that have lasted 2,000 years. This one did, and it's lasted the test of time. And ISIS, that easy, it's gone. And it's not the first site they've done it. This is the history of the world. This isn't history of Iraq. This isn't history of Syria. This isn't the history of the Middle East. This is the history of the world. These are where everybody came from in this area. It is disgusting. I'm very much into history, and I love these buildings. I think we cannot even build something that would stand the test of times as they did. They didn't have the equipment. They didn't have the computers, the laser, and all this equipment. They had a hammer, a chisel, and a line. And they were able to build these buildings. Sources in Mosul, Iraq, have reported that ISIS used military equipment to destroy the ancient monument known as the Gates of God. The British Institute for the Study of Iraq told the Independent that ISIS jihadists attacked the gate located in eastern Providence. The Gate of God, also known as Mashik Gate, was built in the 7th century BC during the reign of a Syrian king. In January 2015, residents in Mosul informed the Syrian website in Nakawa, that the militants planned to target the wall. Unnamed sources said that the Islamic leaders told members to set booby traps along the wall. If the Iraqi army attempted to liberate the area, the militants must complete the bombing of the historic walls. Historians attribute the walls to the king who rebuilt the city during his reign beginning in 704 BC and consisted of 7.5-mile barrier around the city, presumably to protect from attacks when it served as the capital of the ancient Assyria. The city was so important and the king contributed so great that some archaeologists have gone as far as to attribute to him the construction and the maintenance of the ancient hanging gardens supposedly located in Babylon. The Islamic State has destroyed tombs, statues, books, and libraries since they invaded Mosul in June 2014. They blew up a shrine to Jonah, a biblical prophet, and Yanis in the Quran. Yeah, let's send comedians Because I'm sure they could stop them from destroying world history. They can stop them from destroying these buildings that have stood the test of time by just making them laugh. ISIS completely destroyed the shrine of Nabi Yunus after telling local families to stay away and closing the roads to a distance of 500 meters from the shrine. Settlers bought the shrine in 8th century BC. Worshippers believe that the prophet Jonah, most famous in biblical legends for surviving being swallowed by a whale, rests there. Saddam Hussein renovated the shrine, and it remained a popular site for pilgrims. So at least that bastard had done one good thing in his life. Sorry, I'm checking something out real quick. It's one last second. All right. Getting some stuff sent to me. I apologize. The militants also raided the Central Library in Mosul to destroy all non-Islamic books. These books promote infidelity and call for disobeying Allah, announced the militant to the residents, so they will be burned. The library contained the biggest repository of learning the northern Iraq town. More than likely, the terrorists destroyed Iraq newspapers dating to the early 20th century. Hello, Cal. Maps and books from the Ottoman Empire and book collections contributed by about 100 Mosul establishment families. After that raid, the militants targeted the library at the University of Mosul. They burned science and cultural textbooks in front of the students. The Boston Globe reports. It is absolutely disgusting. And again, let's send some comics in to stop them from destroying history. Let's send comics in to make them laugh and find them jobs. I don't know if it's the drugs or if people got dropped on their head too much, but sitting there coming up with ideas that all ISIS needs is jobs and to laugh, and they'll stop doing heinous activities such as destroying 2,000-year-old buildings, burning books that show the history of the world. He reported particularly heavy damage to the archives of a Sunni Muslim library, the library of the 265-year-old Latin church and monastery of the Dominican Fathers, and the Mosul Museum Library with works dating back to 5000 BC. Gone. We can't get that stuff back. There might be none other items that still exist that could represent those time periods. Gone. Because ISIS doesn't like them. Citing reports by locals who live near these libraries, the professors added that the militants used to come during the night and carry the material in refrigerated trucks with Syrian registered license plates. The terrorists have also savagely salvage relics to sell to Western antique collectors. Antique sales pushed the group's account from under thousands to billions. These militants control around 4,500 archaeological sites. They stole antiques more than 8,000 years old, which netted $36 million for the jihadists. They allowed residents and gangs to loot the shrines, but they had to give 20 to 50% of the profit to ISIS. It leaves me saddened. Even if we found, as a non-Muslim, I would not want anything of the history destroyed about the Muslims. Anything of their history, I would not. I want it in museums. I want it shown. I may not agree with their religion. I may not care for their religion, but I can respect their religion. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and HB Pundit Radio. We'll be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplains.dailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying Catholic student, bro.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is the Reaver After Dark, hosted by Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Jersey Crash, right here on shrmedia.com and highplains.dailynews.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guy. because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the Reaver of Common Sense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date with everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, trying to make sense out of the senseless. The one thing I want to touch on, and I was talking to Kel in the chat room while we were on break, and the one thing I noticed, and I don't know what to make of it, as I said earlier, I've had a mass influx of fans liking my page, which she didn't realize I had a page just for maybe they didn't know. A lot of people don't know I have a page for Jersey Joe. Now, I created that for one reason. I wanted to separate what I do on the show from my personal life. I had some incidents of some people doing a little snooping around on my personal and bringing my daughter and my wife into the matters, which to me, that's off limits. So yes, I have a page. It's if you search for Jersey Joe on Facebook, you'll find my page. But I had just had a massive influx from of people from the Middle East. I'm like, what the heck? Hey, if you want to like and you want to read up on me, hey, go right ahead. I do not mind. Now, Rick Willie, he's a former Scott Walker campaign manager. Now, a Scott Walker campaign manager has joined Team Trump. Donald Trump has hired Republican strategist Rick Willie, last seen managing Scott Walker's 2016 presidential run, to boost his campaign heading into the Republican National Convention. From the Washington Post, Donald Trump has hired a veteran campaign operative with deep roots in the Republican Party establishment to take a senior position on his presidential campaign, as the GOP frontrunner moves quickly to incorporate seasoned professionals in his inner circle. Rick Willie, who has more than 2 decades of experience in state and national politics, and most recently served as campaign manager for Wisconsin Governor Scott Walker's presidential bid, is joining the Trump campaign as a national political director. 2 Republicans with knowledge of the hire told the Washington Post. Hey, congrats. To be honest, I know it's going to be a tougher. I think he's going to get it. I don't even think we're going to have a contested convention. I think between the media and RNC, they just got people so engaged with this primary season. They have people so passionate, so I don't want to use the word angry because I'm getting tired of hearing that. Everybody is so whipped up and into this primary season. As I said earlier, I've never seen that before. I've never seen people that involved. And between Trump, the RNC, and the media, they have everybody whipped up. And I think it's a good thing. And I do think that Trump, even if he's short, if he walks in with 1,100, I still see him getting the nomination in the first round. I don't see them starting issues and causing problems. If it goes beyond that and they take it and he has the highest amount, they're going to piss off their base so bad, Cruz would not win, or whoever the nominee is would not win. And I've been saying this, and this goes to Trump supporters And on my end, since I am a Trump supporter, I see it heavy, but I do see it with the Trump supporters. So shut your mouth there on that. But I see it heavy on the Cruz supporters attacking and insulting the Trump supporters. Why do these people think it's smart? And this is going from the media to the RNC to Ted Cruz to Ted Cruz supporters. Why do you think it's smart to insult, degrade, belittle the supporters of Trump? Just think for a moment. Think before you run your mouth on the internet. If Ted Cruz were to get the nomination, you would need those same people that you have been bashing, the same people you have been name calling, belittling, degrading, whatever words you want to put there. Why do you think it's smart to insult the base that you will need? Sort of like what Ted Cruz right now is backtracking. He's backpedaling something fierce on the New York values comments. He's now trying to blame Trump for the comment. That's the ultimate. He is getting his ass handed to him in New York in the polls. I have seen some of the polls where Trump is now at 60%. You shoot your mouth off. Everybody knew he did this. And now he's trying to backpedal on the comment. And it's not working. People aren't buying the bullshit of a politician. They're not buying the bullshit from a lawyer. And it's hurting him. And it's that whole Northeast corridor. Pennsylvania, his numbers are not good. I mean, Cruz. Trump is, as it looks right now, if he goes by the polls, he's going to get all 95. And that pretty much seals it where Cruz could not win it. And then maybe he ought to practice what he preaches. When he was telling Kasich he couldn't win it, he had no mathematical possibility to win it. He needs to step out. Then he is going to need to practice what he preaches. I know he won't. I'm not going to mandate that he step down. I'm just saying, you got to watch what you say because it can come back to bite you in the ass. And when you're sitting there telling supporters that they're stupid, that they're moronic, that they're a bunch of violent, emotionally driven idiots, then you're going to need those same people to vote you in for you to win. How many people are going to put their hands up and go, you know what? Fuck you. I know that helps Hillary, but you know what? A lot of people are going to be, you attack me, I'm not going to help you. And that's what he's got to get through his head. And I mean Cruz, he's got to get through his head. I am not seeing Trump bashing the supporters of Cruz. He's going after Cruz. He's going after the establishment. But I have seen where Ted Cruz has made comments about the supporters. And that is just dumb. That is shooting yourself in the foot. Rick Willey, who has more than 2 decades of experience in state and national politics and mostly recently served as campaign manager for Scott Walker, is joining the Trump campaign. Throughout the season, Trump has been criticized for his weak ground game in important states compared to rival Ted Cruz. Willey arrives with a mandate from Trump to beef up the campaign's field operations in the states with primaries ahead of the calendar, including delegate-rich California, as well as prepare for what the Trump team views as a likely general election. Willey is the latest biggest name hire for Trump, joining a senior team that now includes longtime GOP strategist Paul Manafort, who was hired in late March to manage the campaign's delegate operation and summer convention plans, and also has broad authority with overall campaign strategy. it's Trump takes the Northeast corridor. Ted Cruz should back down. Should. By his own comments to Kasich, to Marco Rubio, to all of them. If he doesn't, he's shown that he is doing nothing more than trying to screw over Trump and then take the nomination through a contested convention. And I'm sorry, if he takes that contested convention, that is the first loser getting the win. Think about it. Your football team is in the Super Bowl. They win the points. But because there's some argument, they hand it over to the loser. You'd be pissed. People's heads would be blowing up in America. I can give a lot of analogies. And I know the Cruz supporters, that doesn't match up. That is not the same thing. Yeah, I know. Because you're too close to a situation and you don't see. Just like sometimes, yes, I'm too close to my ideology of supporting Trump. I may not see certain things, but I do try to listen with open mind. And if there is a valid point, I will agree to it. And yes, I have done that. A valid point is a valid point. But in both sides, everybody's just so passionate. They got blinders on. They're not willing to look or think of anything else. It's a good thing that we got the people involved, but it's a bad thing because they're pissing everybody off. Trump is going to need the Cruz supporters. Cruz would need the Trump supporters. I thought it would have been a great party at the beginning of the campaign would be a Trump Cruz. There's a lot of people calling for that now. I don't know. I don't know if that could actually happen. I really do not think that could happen now. Maybe I'm being stubborn about it and hold a grudge, but you just can't sit there and go after somebody like that and then go, hey, let's go out for a drink. I don't know. Hopefully things can get worked out and the party can come together so we can beat Hillary. This country does not need Hillary. This country does not need Hillary. And that is the only way I would vote for Ted Cruz at this point, was to block Hillary. But I don't think he can. Cruz is too far right. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I've said it over and over again. I don't think this country is ready for someone that is far right. A lot of people got burned by the far left and Obama. And they see that. Some people do see that. So they see that far right as the same thing that will burn them. You have Trump coming in with a lot of independent and a lot of Democrats converting. Well, you need to give them time to convert fully into conservatives and to embrace the full thing. If Trump is not the nominee, they're not going to stick around. They're not going to support Cruz right now. Now, another 4 years, 8 years down the road, could I see that happening after they've had time to fully assimilate into a conservative party? Yes. I could start to see him saying, holy shit, here's the myth that I've been lied to about. And this party is a better And the ideology of conservatism is a better idea. But expecting them to go from the left straight to hard right, it's never going to happen. You might get one or two followers that would do that, but you're never going to get it. And that's one of the reasons I think Trump would make a good candidate right now. It's like that. I compare it to the frog in the water. If you put a frog in a boiling water, it's going to jump right out. If you put a liberal, a one-time liberal, into a highly conservative area, they're going to walk away. But if you put that frog in water and slowly, over time, increase the heat, it will stay in there and die. So you have the same thing going on with, you have that liberal that comes over to the conservative party, and you slowly turn up and turn the conservatism on. And slowly, they don't realize that they are becoming a hard-nosed conservative. Till it's too late, and they're going, shit, I am a conservative, and I like it. So we need to be a little bit smarter, and I don't think Ted Cruz can do it. He's right. He needs to polish his image a little bit more. He has some things that are going against him right now. And I know some people can't understand it, but I can. I bitched about Obama being a junior senator. Well, that's what Cruz is, a junior senator. And it's once bitten, twice shy. Right now, I think he needs a little bit more time. And he needs to learn how to make himself a little bit more likable. He's too hard-edged and pissing people off too much. Then again, so am I. I'm always pissing people off. And I like it. But wait, right now you're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plain Pundits Radio. We'll be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplansdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying Kafka's doing it, bro.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking, drinking, drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is the Reaver After Dark, hosted by Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Jersey Crash, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the Reaver of Common Sense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date with everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm making sense out of the senseless. Well, I'm trying to, at least. I'm going to touch on something I just saw, and it just doesn't make sense to me. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to join the live chat. Go to shrmedia.com. Just click on the chat room button. Join the conversation. If you want to watch the broadcast, go to Reaver.1. Click on the live stream. And if you like that live stream, please do not forget to subscribe and keep up to date. If you want to support the show, if you want to support SHR Media, go to Reaver.1 and click on the Reaver store. So Ted Cruz gave an interview and, quote, Donald and his team, it's almost like that they are subjects in a clinical course in psychology. So he has he's been referring to Trump to everything, and it's getting kind of almost comical because it seems like every week Cruz is going to support Donald Trump and his supporters to something new. It's gone from Hitler to Mussolini to mafia. He just keeps pointing and trying to make a correlation and hoping something sticks. He's just throwing the pasta against the wall, the accusations against the wall, and seeing which one sticks. But it's Trump is the one being the aggressor. I love that, how they twist that. And I can't believe people are actually buying it. And these are the same people that for God knows how long now they've been complaining that we need to straighten out the party. We need an outsider. We need to end the lobby groups buying our politicians. We need to end the accusations, the mudslinging, the yada, yada, yada. And what happens? Oh. Take a look at this election. People are getting what they want, and they are bashing it and sticking up and buying it. That's another thing. All the media, they try to twist everything, and they're going to distort the facts. Oh, wait a minute. They said Donald Trump is inciting violence. Donald Trump is inciting violence. And they buy right into it. They complain about it, but then buy right into it. Oh, that candy bar tastes like shit. I'm never going to buy it again. Oh, the commercial says it's a new flavor in it. Oh, it's the greatest candy bar around. It's a new flavor. Listen, if you don't like Trump, don't like Trump. I don't care. If you want to support Cruz, support Cruz. You want to support Kasich, support Kasich. If you want to support Hillary Clinton, please check yourself into the nearest mental facility. But don't sit there and tell me you want this to change and that to change and then do the same thing over and over again. It's maddening. It's ludicrous. And we got the Pope. This guy. This guy's a nut job. Pope says no to trans kids. Teach young to accept their body as it was created. Using some of the most powerful language to date, Pope Francis has joined the American College of Pediatricians in denouncing the transgender ideology behind contemporary ideas of fluid sexual identity among children. In his new letter on marriage and the family, Francis said that sex education should teach respect and appreciation for sexual difference as a way of helping the young to overcome self-absorption. This respect includes self-acceptance and learning to embrace the body one is born with, rather than playing with the fictional identity that deny reality. If you're trans, you're gay, you're a lesbian, whatever. It's no skin off my back. But I can understand the backing that we need to. It's like they're almost pushing it on these kids. Let people learn on their own. Accept them as they come, but let them learn on their own. But when it comes to medical, it's not about emotional. It's about physical. You got to make sure that you identify your correct medical sexuality within your body, not the emotional. Just because of the fact we have to treat male and female bodies differently, different chemistry, all that. Different signs and symptoms from male to female for a simple thing as cardiac issue. Just as between ethnicities, we have to treat differently. There's certain diseases that affect colored people more than Caucasian. Stop forcing this stuff on kids and let them learn at their own pace. It's simple. It's not that I don't want them to talk about it. Let them learn at their own pace. And I think the Pope, with everything he has done and said lately, needs to go into a private prayer session for about a year, I guess, would be a good time. He has hurt Christianity more than he has helped. I'm not a Catholic, but I think he has done more damage than good with his mouth of late. He's more worried about politics than religion. Yeah, who does the Pope confess to? And I got in a conversation with a friend of mine who is religious and goes to church and all that. And he respects that I don't. And we had the conversation of, basically something along that lines of who do these priests go to confess their sins? And that's one of the things I don't like about religion is you have these people standing above you, preaching down to you. And yes, I'm playing with those the little poppy things from packaging. I believe in God and all that, but just the mass religion, I can't get behind any of them. Whether it's non-denominational or any of that, everybody's, oh, this church is the best. No, this one's the best. They're the best for you. And I respect that. Doesn't mean it's going to be the best for me. And the Pope, I don't think I remember a Pope getting this involved in all these subjects, from political to, I've heard him get involved here and there over the years, but not like this Pope has got involved. This one stuck his nose a little too far into the business of everyday people. These things are addicted. They're addicting. But again, I want to thank everybody for listening today. Listen to me yammer on. And I do apologize about yesterday. As I said, there were some personal issues I had to take care of. And then on top of it, I didn't do my night show because Crash was sick. We were supposed to premiere the new show last night. But with everything going on, I didn't have time to do, the mass media push. And then I found out a friend of mine passed away. I was like, you know what? Just tonight's not the right night. We'll be back Wednesday night. And yes, we have a new show for Wednesday night. I'll premiere it later. You're going to have to listen in. And I will be back tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat station. That's shrmedia.com and High Plains Pundit Radio. Everybody have a good day. You've been listening to the Reaver of Common Sense with its host, Jersey Joe. You can tune in every day, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on hbpundit.com and shrmedia.com.